I almost did not make this video, and we need to talk about why. So, I originally had a whole different video planned. Today I was going to set up a different camera angle, a different place in my apartment, try to switch it up a little bit, add a little bit more production value. I'd even set up a tripod for the first time. I had one for a little bit, and I thought that it was broken. And it turns out that it wasn't broken, and I just didn't know how to use it. And a tripod is a pretty simple thing. So we got there in the end, but I set up a tripod and set up a different camera angle because I wanted to try something new, try something a little bit outside of the scope of what I usually did. And the video I was doing was originally about my origin story, kind of a bit more about who I am, what I'm doing here, and why you people should care about it. And for some reason today, I just couldn't get it done. I think that in general, I have problems with consistency, not just with my art and with my posting of things, but with life in general. I have these big ideas, these big goals of, I should be doing this. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I started doing that? And I'm really gung-ho about it for the first week or two. And right around weeks 3 or 4 is when I tend to skip a day. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll skip today, but I'll do it twice as hard tomorrow. And then that just doesn't happen. Tomorrow never comes. And then eventually I just give up. And I really don't want that to happen with this. Personally, I'm someone that needs momentum. I find it a lot easier to keep the train rolling than it is to get it going again once it stops. And this is something that I really care about. It's something that I really want to give a fair shot to. And I wanted to stay consistent in order to help build up those skills that I need to be good at this. So for some reason today, I just couldn't string 2 sentences together. I had even prepared notes, which is something I haven't done because I like to keep these conversational. But I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to do this right. And I couldn't. I just couldn't. I haven't even finished taking down the tripod. It's still up there where I was going to shoot the other video. And maybe I will do that video again someday, but it ain't happening today, bud. I'll tell you that much. So I wanted to take a look at what went wrong today and see if I can learn any lessons about consistency, about what to do when consistency is threatened. And the first thing that I did is I tried to just push through it. Now, this is most likely the easiest thing to do when you're faced with consistency problems, at least in theory, right? Just, hey, I know it sucks right now. I know you're having a lot more problems than you normally do, but just push through it. Just knuckle up and get it done. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just get the dang thing finished. That's great if you can do that, but you can't always do that. And I certainly did not do that today. Something about today, man, I don't know. I kept trying to come up with excuses like, oh, maybe it's because I'm not framed well enough in the shot. I'm not centered enough. Okay, well, maybe it's because I noticed that my microphone wire keeps tapping against the tripod and it's making a sound and it's throwing me off. I was coming up with a lot of excuses, which is another thing that I think happens when you are about to give up, right? You come up with ways why it's actually the correct thing to give up. You know what? Like, this video is not going to sound good because of the microphone wire tapping against the tripod. You might as well just not do it. They'll understand. I don't know. It's a really easy to not, is what I've learned. And sometimes just dealing with it and trying to push through it just ain't cutting it. I know they say that the quickest way out is through, But sometimes that's just not in the cards. So the next thing I did was I took a step back. I took a break. I was like, hey, it's not happening right now, bud. You don't have the magic right now. But maybe if you took a step back, took a little break, have a nice little night, maybe you'll feel a little bit more recharged later. Maybe you can record it tomorrow. Ooh, another excuse, pushing it off to tomorrow when you're feeling better. Yeah, it's about midnight when I'm recording this, so thankfully I was able to get something done today, but I took a step back, and I had a nice little night, Me and my girlfriend, we got some subs, we got some Italian food, and we watched a Harry Potter movie. We've been making our way through those. We watched Order of the Phoenix today, for what it's worth, which is my favorite book and my least favorite movie. If you disagree with me, fight with me in the comments. Please let me know. I'll tell you exactly why you're wrong. But it was nice to just kind of forget about it for a few blissful hours. But then the movie ended, and I was like, well, damn. I need to either record something now, or I just have to be okay with the fact that I'm not going to have a video up in time, and I'm not going to have that consistency. And that's something that was difficult to reckon with, because I feel a lot of, I don't know, I guess it's fear. I think it is. It might just be fear, because I want to be good at this so freaking bad. I really do. Not just posting videos consistently, but getting good at this stuff, getting good at editing, getting good at art. There's so much that I have to learn still, and I need to do it consistently in order to get those skills, and in order to make these videos and the art that I do as good as I want them to be. I know that, but it can be really hard sometimes. And I get this weird fear of, like, I don't know, it's a feeling of shame almost, where it's like when I try, like really try to succeed at something that I really want to be good at, I feel embarrassed. I feel like if I try really hard and I take the time and I have these big concepts and I really give it my all to try to execute them, and they're not good, that means that I failed, and I don't want to be a failure. So sometimes my brain just convinces me that it's easier to just not even try and just be like, well, I know that I would be really good at that if I did it. I'm just not doing it for whatever excuse it is at the time. And I don't know, I think that is not the way I want to live my life. I think that I would rather get out there and just fail spectacularly than to not do anything and be like, oh, well, if I had done this, I would have been great at it. Well, sometimes you're not, bud, and you need to be bad in order to be good. But it's a big fear. I don't know. It's a big feeling of shame too. Like, I want to have done this. I want to have filmed this video the way that I wanted to have it in my head, And I couldn't make my idea real, at least not this time. And I have to own up to that. I had to say, hey, this ain't working. What do I do? And that's why I decided to do what I ended up doing, which is pivot to something else. It's really easy to not, like I said, but it's a lot harder to say, hey, what I'm doing is not working. What can I do that will work? And I think that when I was filming that video, I don't know, I just couldn't get in the moment of what I was trying to say. And I think that was creating these feelings, and that made me really want to talk about them, So I said, hey, this ain't connecting for whatever reason, but I really want to talk about why this isn't connecting and why I feel like I'm failing at this right now. And so I think that it was a good idea to, hey, let's change the topic and let me talk about how that video is not happening, at least not right now. And so I sat down here and I recorded a video about consistency and about how you need to take the time, you need to pivot, all these things. And I really liked it. And then it turns out that I was filming with the wrong camera. I was filming with the rear camera when I should have been filming with the front camera or whatever. 3 or 4 is when it starts to peter out a little bit. Maybe I push things off. And man, that this video became even closer to not happening. When I saw the footage and I saw that it was just me filming my wall for 15 minutes, oh boy, I nearly lost it. And I came the closest I ever have to giving up on this entirely. I was like, you know what? This ain't worth it. But then I waited an extra second and realized, yeah, it is worth it. I really want to do this. I really want to get better at art. I really want to get better at making these videos. I want to get better at being able to come up with ideas and make them real. It's something I care a lot about. Sometimes it's gonna suck. I am not feeling very good today, just physically, you know. I have a bit of a sore throat this morning. It was a really rainy day, and one of those gloomy rainy days, not one of those like, oh, cozy, let's stay in. I found a couple pockets of that here and there, but it was rough. I was not at 100%, and I don't know. I was like, hey, I would understand if I didn't do this today, but I knew that if I didn't do it today, it wasn't going to get done. So, yeah, this is not the video I thought it was going to be. This video is not as good as I would have liked for it to have been. But this video is here. This video is out. And we got that train rolling, baby. We're still chugging. I think the goal of these videos is to get a little less bad with each one. And I think that the mere fact that this video is out when it's out and that it exists at all is proof that I got a little less bad at that today. And I'm not trying to be the best, but I am trying to be pretty okay. And so I really appreciate it for anyone that made it this far. I know this is not the typical video that I do. I'm a lot less cheeky, I know. But it meant a lot to me. I really felt like I needed to talk about this. And I'm really appreciative of anyone that made it this far. So I want to know, have you been feeling like this as well? Has there been a time where you almost didn't do something, but you did, and you felt really good about it? Was there a time when you were close to not doing something and you didn't do it, and it sucks, and you want to talk about how much it sucks? Please let me know. I would love to hear it. I hope you have a good day, and I want you to get out there and make something.